Hey everyone! Welcome to The Young and the Restless. I'm Jane, and I'm so excited to have you here. If you love Young and the Restless, then you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Alright, let's dive right in. Sharon is suspected of being the kidnapper after Nate captures Audra with Victor and Phyllis. Summer confesses, Claire questions Kyle, and Nick decides whether to go to London on today's episode of The Young and the Restless. When Summer runs into Phyllis at the athletic club, she is shocked to hear her mother declare, "I'm going to Sharon's," and that she said so without being sarcastic. Chance wants to talk to both of them, Phyllis explains. She hopes he has figured out a solution to this kidnapping problem. Phyllis fidgets and confesses that she is still upset and experiencing nightmares. Although she's accustomed to recovering from more difficult situations, the mental manipulation that went into this was terrible. That someone took advantage of her and Sharon's wriggling stings. They might be observing her now. She couldn't get that voice out of her brain. According to Summer, that individual only has the authority she chooses to grant them. Sharon would say that her mother concurs. Until whoever did this to her is imprisoned, she will never be at peace. Nick's decision surprises Sharon. At home, Sharon dumps her purse on top of her pile of bags. She remembers forcing Phyllis to drink the antidote during their captivity just as she is ready to take a sip from her water bottle. When someone knocks on the door, she breaks out of that. Christian's relationship with Victoria is explained by Nick. Her suitcases are packed, he notes. She expresses her excitement about seeing Noah in London. Is there space for one more? Nick asks. He had already made plans for them to go over the world in the Newman jet. She flings her arms around him in awe. What changed your mind? Sharon wonders. He says he can only visit for a few days, but he wants to see his son. When Phyllis shows there, she asks Nick whether Chance also called him over. Sharon tells her excitedly that they will be flying to London together. She encourages Phyllis to take her children on a vacation as well. Phyllis assures Nick that she's doing okay but adds it will have to wait because she's busy with work. That makes him happy to hear. When Chance shows there, he says he has news concerning the kidnapper and is glad to see everyone. They ask for his name as they go around him. The only good news for the cop is that they have a hit on the remote gadget that emitted the gas, which was purchased by a patient at a mental health facility outside of Paris. Sharon recognizes it, explaining that Alan was connected to one of these clinics and Ashley received treatment there. Nick observes that the officer needs a moment to process that. What does this mean? They question Chance. Another piece of the puzzle might have come into focus, the investigator reveals. His only statement is that the probe is gaining momentum. He offers to expand their security detail because that doesn't make the women feel any safer. Phyllis doesn't think the police will be able to outsmart their abductor. Phyllis says she needs this nightmare to end, and Chance tells them not to make any snap judgments. She can't keep worried that she'll be grabbed. Chance begs them to have faith in him to put a stop to this horror quickly. This must stop, Phyllis says again. Kyle and Claire quarrel over Victor. At society, Kyle is encouraged by Claire to share with her the work he has been doing with his father that has made him feel so positive. He attempts to shift the conversation to her workday. Despite her lack of dating experience, she can sense he's being evasive. Claire notes that when they saw her grandfather, his attitude shifted. She assumes Victor has something to do with the problem he and Jack were having. They should establish limits with her grandfather, he says, adding that he was just taking back one of Victor's jabs. She is reminded by Kyle that her mother's relationships were destroyed by Victor. He emphasizes that even Esther believes they are the real deal and doesn't want them to be his newest victims. Claire maintains her composure and won't give up until she receives a truthful explanation of what he and his father were going through. He informs her that they suspect a certain employee of business espionage after he calls for the check. He doesn't know who they work for, but he and his father believe there are more. Why he wouldn't bring this up is beyond Claire's comprehension. He didn't want her to make snap judgments. Perhaps she overreacted, she admits. Kyle suggests they go to the lounge for a nightcap in an attempt to clear Victor and Work's heads. Summer enters as Kyle and Claire are leaving and hears them laughing. They pause as they pass to inquire about Phyllis. Summer assures me she will be all right. Spending time with Harrison is helping her deal with her toughness. With her son and the sketch he has been doing of her, Summer begins to ramble. She should be proud, says Claire. Summer is informed by Claire and Kyle that Harrison has begun to perform magic tricks, and they make fun of his amazing skills. After forcing a chuckle, Summer immediately informs them that she doesn't want to bother them because she is meeting someone. Summer tells Chance something. Summer glares out the window at Kyle and Claire as they leave the building after they have left. She has a wounded expression on her face when Chance walks over and asks how she's doing. They are given a table after she dismisses it. Chance informs her that he has a new lead and has informed Phyllis of it. She recognizes her mother's need for closure. The police officer reflects on how difficult it is to feel as though you are unable to move. Summer infers from his tone that he is referring to her rather than her mother. More, a YNR vet laments a devastating loss. Summer is obviously envious of Claire, but Chance tells her she may continue to lie to herself. She attempts to deny it, but he doesn't believe her and wants her to come clean. Summer breaks down and confesses that she finds Kyle and Claire's relationship intolerable. Chance gives a nod. She wants to scream every time she sees Claire. She detests the way that woman is adored and treated like she walks on water by Kyle, Harrison, and her family. Summer has to inhale deeply after finishing a cocktail. She confesses, feeling terrible, that she and Kyle were meant to be each other's happily ever after. Losing him, especially to someone like Claire, still bothers her. He admits this hasn't been fair to either of them, and she apologizes. She wonders, what do we do now? Victor offers Audra a position. Audra sees the all-knowing, all-powerful Victor Newman when she enters the jazz lounge. He has already placed an order for her favorite margarita. She reminds him that she can leave at any time after taking a sip. He even indicates the exit because he knows. Victor asks Audra whether she still harbors animosity toward Kyle because he stabbed her in the back when she wonders what options he has in mind for her. She smiles at that. He was the one who dismissed her, she reminds him. She should give him credit for saving her from Glissade's sinking ship, the mustache adds. What do you want? Audra asks. Victor offers to negotiate a bargain and encourages her to be open about her intention to exact revenge on Kyle. In response to Audra's question about his impression of her work at Newman Media, he states that both he and Nikki were impressed. He was so impressed that he was prepared to give her a portion of his business to manage. She can have her ideal job if she will name it. Audra, clearly taken aback, inquires as to what she should do. Victor clarifies that he needs her to highlight how simple it would be to entice Kyle to have another affair. Audra jumps up and laughs bitterly. Victor requests that she take a seat again. In reality, he doesn't want her to woo Kyle. He explains that he doesn't like that his granddaughter is seeing the abbot. She doesn't have to be a femme fatale for Victor to demonstrate Kyle's weakness. He can give her something much more than what she could have done with Glissade if she can accomplish that. I believe the decision is clear, he states. Audra and Victor are together when Nate walks into the lounge. He approaches Victor right away and confronts him for looking into Damien and alerting Lily about him. He reveals that his brother is Damien. Victor says, well, I'll be damned, as if he's never heard it before. In any case, he advises him to exercise caution around Damien and Dumas. Nate asserts that he is free to choose whoever to believe. Nate looks at Audra and questions why she's drinking with her ex-employee. Victor feels confident that she is capable of choosing whom to trust. She promises to follow up with Victor regarding their conversation as he leaves. She should not take too long, Victor advises. After he leaves, Audra makes her way to the bar. Nate follows and inquires as to the purpose of that. Phyllis and Sharon conjecture about possible culprits. She and Phyllis discuss the little chance told them back at Sharon's. She questions whether Ashley was able to arrange everything. She is capable of something like this and does have a history of mental illness. Sharon finds that improbable, so they talk about Alan's possible involvement. Sharon tells Nick and Phyllis that Tracy was very interested in her experience. She repeated the details to Tracy, who appeared upset. Nick believes she was merely attempting to assist. Sharon isn't really certain. They talk about how Alan hypnotized her. Phyllis inquires as to whether she informed him of their past. Sharon claims that Michael and Nick attended the sessions and that she didn't. Phyllis is unsure about how to interpret all of this. From 0 to 0, they have gone. Nick believes the man is involved since he saw Chance's response when he heard Alan's name. Phyllis advises them to reconsider taking a family vacation if such is the case.